Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment, people. Just gonna a little bit on Tenerife stories, and this is a video on Ricky who went missing, and this is by Explained Mysteries, and it says what happened to Ricky Dakota. Ricky was a Londoner who went missing in October 1987 in the island of Tenerife after finding a job. He had the last contact with his family before going missing in October 87. Could the behaviour change in Ricky have played a big part in his disappearance? Yeah, I totally agree. I think he started getting the rugs. I think it started to really weigh him down. And I do think he got into a bit of debt and started moving with some people. And it said that basically he'd robbed a rug dealer and they'd basically killed him from there, which is just sound. The music is a bit loud, people, for the actual video, but like I said, for those, there's a documentary on YouTube, What Happened to Ricky. You can find that. It's about like a 55-minute documentary, something like that. Do watch it there, but like I said, I think it will give you good insight into what happens in Tenerife, especially if people go into the rug scene. Play the video. I think I have actually done a few videos on Ricky Dakota, so you can find a few of my videos in what I thought of it.
Ricky's old friend Bo saw his mate begin to lose it, and it all happened very quickly.
And all of a sudden, there seemed to be some sort of change in him. It was a bit strange, and that's all I can say really. He got a problem in the apartment where we lived in Slater, and he sort of smashed the flat about a little bit, and the police got called, and he was taken away. Rocky. He was sort of breathing heavily, and he was going, "I'm the devil, I'm strong, I'm the devil, I'm strong." And then he was calming down, and then he was getting all pissed up again and saying, "I'm the devil, I'm strong, I'm the devil, I'm strong." This was very brief. I mean, from the time that he went a little bit different to the time he disappeared, it was a very short period of time. You know, a great deal of notice, you know what it's like.
No one takes a great deal of notice. You know what it's like. As though this behaviour, this guy who's apparently still on the island, or got a lot, is quite well known, got a lot of businesses, and seemed to know a lot about Ricky. I think this geezer knew what happened to Ricky, that he got in with people that took him down the wrong avenue and was killed for it. And I think it's been happening in Tenerife for a long time. And obviously, with what happened to Jay Slater, it really gives us a high scope in what actually goes on, on out there, and it should be basically put out there for youngsters who are thinking of going out there, and vulnerable people as well, because we had vulnerable people going out there and getting lost or robbed or taken up to the mountains. It just goes on and on. That was part one, people. Please go and watch the video. Very important. Even though it was a long time ago, I think it's important to see, because it does have some bearing on the Jay Slater case. I think, even though it happened a long time ago. Welcome back to part two, people. I just want to go into a video, and it was the man that was technically found in exactly the same sort of position where Jay Slater actually disappeared in the mountains. Let's just get straight into this.
It's this. Allegedly, another man has gone missing in the same spot Jay Slater disappeared in Tenerife. Now, allegedly, this man is 68 years old and was reported missing on Monday, the 21st of April. Allegedly, his car has been found. However, it was found in a completely different area to where he allegedly went missing. But don't you think that this is crazy, that after the whole Jay Slater search party and all that extravaganza that went on to try and locate Jay, don't you think it's crazy that another man has gone missing in a similar area? And I wonder, is it because he was drunk? Or is there something more untoward going on? I was on the Facebook page, the Jay Slater Facebook page, when he was going missing and everyone was fundraising. And so many people had their theories and their suspicions regarding certain gangs in the area. And it does just make you wonder, is there something more to this situation than them just being drunk and wandering off and getting lost?
That was a good video, and that was by Taylor there, and some of the messages were quite interesting. Beck said, I lived in Tenerife when I was 18 and worked for one of the mafia families looking after their children. You do not mess around with these people. Wow. Have you got any stories or know any details? I have a few stories, but no one would ever believe me. I agree, Bex. I agree. Please spill. I'm interested. So, like I said, if there's any stories that do come out by her, I'll let you know, people. Tara says he was drunk. Obviously, this guy who went missing, Jesus, has he had Alzheimer's and diabetes. Not gang-related, this one at all. He's my uncle. He believed he was going to collect his wife from the doctors and got lost as he ran out of petrol. Fair enough. Anyone who spent plenty of time, this is an interesting one by Green-Eyed Chonga, has spent time in Tenerife, knows it's mafia run, and the police are as involved as anyone is. You F about, you'll find out. They won't think twice about giving you a kick-in. Wow. Interesting stuff. It's like I said, you know, I like that people have insight in living in Tenerife, or, you know, known of mafia families or people associated with mafia, because like I said, I think there's a lot of connections with gangs, and I do think they all work together to keep this operation going. Just see if I can find a few messages which are interesting. Someone says, Steffi says, if Jay did fall there, then why isn't there signs put up about danger ahead, etc.? Because there are none in that area, and there should be. That's a very, very good point, Steffi. Great point. A lot of people have gone missing, and it should be put out there. Welcome back to part 3. This is Edinburgh and beyond. And this is a TikToker who basically visited the village of Masca, where Jay Slater went missing, and the trail, some of the trail he took. Let's get straight into this.
Hotel there, the B&B, which Jay was at the morning before he went missing. Now, this area is huge. I mean, the views are incredible, but there's only really one road in and one road out. You're either going this way, you know what I mean, or you're going this way. Do you know what I mean? So really, if you at the B&B there, you come down this road, you pass this cafe, which is open in the morning, all the way up this road, then you have to travel another walk-in. It would take you about half an hour to get back up the top, and that's if you're a good walker. So realistically, I have no idea what's happened to this boy, but this area is huge. I just wanted to show you how big this area is. You know what I mean? All this area has been searched. By the time I'm recording this, I've seen no rescue teams, no one searching, no drones, no police, nothing. So I don't know where they are. Have they stopped searching? Are they searching elsewhere? Who knows? But that's the B&B up there where he was staying, or where he went back for a party. But so many conspiracy theories, it's hard to believe all of them, but there's unanswered questions. It is strange. I mean, I hope he turns up. I hope he's safe. That's the main thing. I hope he's done a hangover and he's ended up in Bangkok. I mean, that would be a good story. I think that would be an excuse there. Just woke up and he doesn't know where he is. But yeah, all jokes aside, let's try and get this boy home. Hopefully he's found very, very soon. and he can get back to his mum. Mum, I mean, we've all got mothers at the end of the day. So yeah, you know what I mean? Find Jay. I mean, and by the way, there's posters. I've seen a few posters in towns and stuff like that. So it is true, there are some posters. Not so much in Playa Las Americas and Los Cristiano, but around this area, there's lots of posters. So yeah, that is.
So that was Edinburgh and beyond, him visiting up there, and he was basically saying technically that he thought that there would be a lot more police and roadblocks and stuff like that, which was really, really strange. And this was, he was up there on the 24th of the 6th, 24, what, just a week after, you know, more or less Jay had gone missing, which is quite bizarre. But like I said, it just seemed like life is normal. But like I said, a lot of people go up there. I just want to go into a few interesting questions. So Maggie says, do those cafes not have CCTV? Stop following sheep. He wasn't there at all. Yeah, I agree with that. You can't tell me they've searched all that already. Looks like they can take weeks to search properly. That's a good point. I have a leaked video of Jay Slater on my profile. He's not innocent, nor is he lost, except first 1500 before I delete my account. I just don't understand why you would go off-road. It doesn't make sense, especially into that bush where you know that if you're not with an expert, you take, generally a normal person would take one look at that and say, no, I'm not going there. Why wouldn't he use that cafe to charge his phone and call a taxi? Well, you know, there's two theories that people talk about. How, you know, he was escaping from someone if he was there, or number two, which I had gone through, that he was never there in the first place. And why didn't anybody see him? These are the major questions, and these questions are going to keep going on long after this case is gone. Is why wasn't he seen by someone, or basically wandering off-road, because there are a lot of people about in that morning. So it's kind of funny. There was a lot of information in those early days on the Jay Slater case, which is quite interesting to read. And I do believe that there are a lot of people out there with information. Max says, I don't know where he is, the same way these full-hat conspiracy theorists don't. He's more than likely in the UK. But like I said, a lot of people had their own basically minds and what happened to Jay. But obviously we know he was found 29 days later, and sadly unalive, and you know, his parents buried him back home, but they're still looking for answers, and that's one of the reasons why we keep talking about the case. Let me know what you think, people. I do think it's interesting for the people that had actually gone out to massacre, because like I said, it's sometimes a different feelings in what the news were actually feeding us, especially the UK news. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment. Let me know what you think of the video, and also the search for Jay Slater when it was on. Because like I said, I just got the feeling that it didn't seem as big as what I first thought, searching for him.